Hey everyone, welcome to this episode. Today we're going time traveling to do some crazy stuff. She dodged encounters, but Jack surprised her at the elevator. Back to the makeup room she went. Annie scanned the room and her eyes landed on a lonely script on an empty chair. Miss Blake, how famous. A security guard was creeping behind her, so Jack swiftly dragged her to a deserted spot. Let go, I'm not a trash bag. No, you're absolutely right. Who knows where trash comes from? We should investigate. Could you be Sandra Bullock in disguise? Since her identity was already exposed, Annie wasn't shocked at all. She casually claimed to be studio staff and the big boss of this film. Perfect timing that the male lead overheard. After reading the script, Annie realized Jack wasn't in the ending due to a lead supporting role mix-up. Curiosity killed the cat, but she had no time. While her lie helped her escape for now, it definitely wouldn't hold up for long. She had to keep her fib on a tight leash. Quickly waving goodbye to Jack, she dashed outside, plotting her getaway back to the library. Meanwhile, while flipping through the script, suddenly someone called her name, introduced himself, and the guy raised an eyebrow like a model, informing her that they still needed her investment for the next 3 movies. Apparently, her dad was the biggest investor. Since he didn't want to keep working with the leading lady, he hoped Annie could sweet-talk the director for him. Pulling out a note filled with the leading lady's flaws and faux pas, he handed it to Annie, who took it but had no intentions of helping. Armed with her novel techniques, she once again approached the hourglass in the library, doing her utmost to expedite the sound's descent with some classic good old-fashioned walking. Her laid-back friend noticed the sand in the hourglass had suddenly stopped. Annie freaked out. What if it was broken and she was stuck here She rushed to get help from the props team, but Annie couldn't make any promises. Once she regained awareness, she spotted Jack, Lance, and the leading lady. They inquired about Annie and dazed. She blurted confusing stuff. Who'd you give the bus order to? She can pay for it. I can, Lucy. What year is it? 1947. Luckily, Annie snapped back and quickly answered, easing their concussion fears. Where'd everyone in the time mirror go? She hurried after them, but half an hour had slipped away. The props team had long vanished. If she wanted to meet Gus again, she might just have to wait until tomorrow. Thankfully, they promised to fix the hourglass, and all Annie could do now was bide her time. Just then, Jack reappeared like a ghost, asking, "Is the seat taken?" "I'm waiting on someone." Annie casually sat down next to him. He picked up the menu, asking Annie about the restaurant's specialties. Annie didn't respond, so he kept rambling. Annoyed by his reviews, Annie realized Jack seemed to have a crush on her and was constantly trying to bond. So with the props team returning tomorrow, she had to be careful not to be recognized. Not rejecting Jack's flirting outright, she realized that fate had already kicked into motion. Everything was heading for the history of her original world, including the swap between leads and the ominous sign of Jack's 1948 death plus. All the times she had met him before, she never really got to know Jack. After just a brief encounter, she discovered character descriptions of Jack were wrong. He wasn't stiff or serious. On the contrary, he was funny and gentlemanly, earning a new label from Annie. As they chatted, the conversations moved past the surface, sharing the secrets hidden in their hearts. Of course, Annie didn't mention time travel. Even if she did, Jack wouldn't believe it anyway. As sadness loomed, sinking Annie deeper, Jack suddenly changed the subject. Turns out, she had seen the investor's daughter at a party, so she already knew Anna's true identity. She didn't expose Annie, finding it amusing. They then strolled through the flower shop and garden. As they chatted more, Annie felt Jack was somewhat magical. After just one day with him, she had developed a little crush. Realizing this change, she understood deep down that she and Jack could never have a real ending. To halt the romance, Annie returned to the hotel without her room. Jack offered to escort her. Reluctantly, she led him on a winding path to room 359, secretly hoping she wouldn't have to invite him in, but surprise. She had accidentally picked his room. Realizing it, she lied about the room number and asked, "Do you want to go in?" You little trickster, darling. Do you have any other thoughts or plans? Good night, Polly. Good night. Finally, she managed to lose Jack. Using a fake elevator fire as an excuse, she sent the front desk staff away, casually grabbing a room key. The Fortis didn't need online registration, so sneaking in for a night went unnoticed. After confirming her room number, she headed to the hotel bar, aiming to relax with a drink, but unexpectedly bumped into her idol. Favorite screenwriter and director, though not famous, mingling in such places was no surprise. Annie struck up a conversation, eager to reminisce about Lance wanting to replace the leading lady. She worried Classic might be replaced and asked the man, but he looked confused. Clearly Lance hadn't reached out.